Welcome. It's another episode of The Raw Truth. I am your host, BxBadBoy, as always, with my brother and host.
Peace, y'all. Back in the building. This Equality of Law. How y'all doing?
Today we'll be talking moral codes. This is our take on things. Hope you enjoy it, and I kind of hope you don't. Hey,
Go ahead, y'all. Get ready for the raw truth. You heard us. Get ready for
basics.
the raw truth.
And me and my brother had a conversation prior to set this up for a conversation. And I think he's got something to say as well. And today I'm going to let him go first.
Well, first I'm going to say, hey, everybody. Sorry I haven't seen me in a while. Been dealing with some health issues, but I'm back on deck. Like I said, man, let's get started and see where this goes, okay? Let's do it like that.
So the way I look at it, I put up an episode prior to this, and you can get the link right here, or I'll leave it in the description. Double standard, man. That was about, it's okay for me to do it but not you. It's okay for you to do it but not me. And it's without morals. Got to get the shirt. It's called thinking. You should try it sometime.
I'm not even moving my camera. I have to say this for sure.
Hey, that's my thing. Yours is you got the graphic, not the graphics. I've got the lovely sayings. I got a few more new ones just for the audience. One that just says plain and simple, serious with a question mark. What more is there to be said? So, the other episode was more about a conversation I had with an individual, and I'll catch you up to speed, brother. It was about you and me, actually. Back in the day when we got harassed by the cops or dealt with them for either our inappropriate behavior or just because we were in the wrong place at the wrong time, they were rougher with you than they were with me. They held my cuffs, they lifted yours up a bit. Wait, that's not what we're getting into, but how this conversation went south. So I also bring it up in the video that I brought up. That's just like the douche canoe who says, it's not my fault, it's her fault for wearing that tight dress, that she got raped. Okay? His bullshit excuse to justify his actions is the same thing this person just did. Justified the police's action by stating, if we weren't up to no good, that wouldn't have happened to us. Now, the person wasn't meaning it was necessarily our fault, or it wasn't about the cops. It was so much more about she was mad of our misbehaving. I'm not going to tell you who it is because it will leave it nameless, but you and I share a connection with this person. So I brought that up, and she lost her mind because it hit too close to home because she's a female. So bringing up rape and justified rape by the asshole, mind you, not me, I was explaining to her that it's the same thing. Him justifying it or you justifying the police being rougher on you than me or rough on us is our fault because we did something wrong. Almost like we had it coming. And isn't that the same thing as the douche that tried to justify his abuse or neglect or harassment of the female? Tell me if I'm wrong, that the justifications are the same. Not the actions, of course, but the way he...
Look, here's the truth. Some can make those statements and get away with it. Others can make those statements and not get away with it. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying?
No,
That's how it goes down. That's how it goes down.
I agree with you, but I just need, maybe my brain is wired wrong. Aren't the intentions of the gentleman and the statement made by the individual making the victims at fault?
Absolutely.
And that's the comparison I was getting at. Not the activities, but we were made to be at fault in that conversation. And she's being made fault in that scenario when it wasn't her fault and it wasn't ours.
Right.
And I was trying to explain that, and she kept talking over me, refusing to listen. Like, she made me furious. If I didn't have the respect I had for her, she wasn't who she is, I would have lost a lot more than my cool.
Well, look, it's the truth. Sometimes, right, there are certain conversations that you can't have with people. Whoever you had this conversation with, that wasn't the conversation to have with them, because it's something that touches too close to home. So, of course, her opinion or her outlook on it is going to be somewhat,
Biased.
yeah, biased.
At that point, it was too late. But in my eyes, that was the two extremes. It was partly meant to hit at home because of how her and I feel about that subject. Because, like, the three of us can agree without question, it's never her fault. Okay? So I picked an extreme situation, just like we were in one. Now, I'll agree, I should have picked another one, but there isn't one. If you really want to get into it, there isn't another subject to have been picked to compare what she said about us to, other than to just reply with, it wasn't our fault. But being who she is, she's been hearing that our whole lives. It wasn't our fault, wasn't our fault, wasn't our fault. It was a matter of circumstances. It wasn't our fault because we were in the wrong neighborhood in their eyes that we got bothered. And I was referring to one of those times we were walking down Washington Heights and the cop pulled us over because, well, we were walking, but stopped us because they believed we were there for drugs. And we were just walking down the damn block. But their approach to you was less gentle than what they did to me. And since we've had so many of those circumstances where you were treated either a great deal worse than me or slightly, it has to boil down to a stereotypical or racist behavior from multiple situations. I mean, unless someone could tell me how come every time we got involved with the police, either something we did wrong or just be in the wrong place at the wrong time, I was treated better than you. I don't like justifying anything. I would like to find some justification here why I was treated nicer than you. You and I never disrespectful the cops. We never talked back. For Christ's sake, we did exactly what they say, gave them exactly what they wanted, even against our better judgment. And you were still treated worse.
Yeah, you know, this is something that's been, again, happening forever, right? I'll say this again. I've never had a over abusive experience with the police, right? Have I ran into asshole cops? Yes. Have they been on the disrespectful side? Yes. But it's never come to a point where what you see right now.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Where dudes It's like if you even say the wrong word, you got a whole baton in your throat. Like I've never had to experience that, and I'm not taking away from anybody like it's dead wrong. You understand what I'm saying? Again, something that us as a people have been dealing with forever, right? It's always been that way. Come on, man. Look, I think the only time the police was ever nice to us was that day we hopped the train and we had all that food in that bag. You remember?
I think they felt too guilty that they were gonna lock us up with all that food.
I think that was the only time police had ever been really nice.
Pretty much.
Other than that, and I don't want to sit here and bash or anything. They wasn't too bad, but
Yeah, they weren't belligerent.
They were assholes. They were assholes.
They treat us like criminals because they don't know what we were until we showed what we were. Because those same cops that were rough with us, once they got to know us from sitting there talking long enough, some of them have apologized. Sorry I was so rough with you, but I couldn't take any chances.
Some of them didn't even want to press charges, but had to because it was too late by then.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying I didn't mention any of the cops' colors, because I'm not suggesting that there's a lot of white cops, or it's just in police interactions, every cop assumes you're going to be the worst of the two of us.
Yeah.
That's a stereotypical perception that's been embedded in the police force. And you have to pay the price for it, was my point. And she took it off in another direction on, if you two behaved, this would never happen to you. So in my mind, the same thing that made her tweak, made me tweak, because she just justified the police behavior. And I just justified, and well, I didn't, but I said there was justification brought forth from the perpetrator to the victim, and that made her trigger. So we both said something that triggered us. I wasn't trying to make her upset.
Right.
I was trying to convey similarities in making excuses for one half of the argument.
Yeah, but that's a situation that used to have to be delicate in, because again, you were talking to a person
That
who was not going to be
sensitive.
Yeah, they were biased all the way through, and that was only because of things that happened to them. I'm sorry that those things happened to that person. Like, and I can't really be mad at her sentiment or her feeling or her way of thinking.
Oh, I wasn't either. I was,
because that was their experience with whatever happened to them.
don't get me wrong, I wasn't mad that she got upset behind my comparison of bullshit excuses. I was upset that she made us, the victims, at fault. And the fact that she wasn't trying to hear anymore, and she was being disrespectful and rude because she heard something she didn't want to hear, instead of approaching it differently. So it just each one was fueling the other. And I'm not justifying my actions, I'm just explaining, because this person, I should have, one, approached it better and known better, but I was justified in my point of view because she just called me, the victim, at fault. By saying it was our fault, we were in the situation to begin with. If we didn't do it, then all right, we wouldn't be in trouble. Just like that makes the same point she's basically saying, if I didn't put up that Facebook post, the stupid douche canoe or douche canoetta wouldn't have been able to send it to my son's school and get me detained. So I'm not allowed to speak my mind with the potential risk of some douchebag trying to make it into a crime.
Unfortunately, yes.
No, but I'm saying, so that brings all back the justification of what I'm going through with the court system and with my son's mother. It makes it all fucking justified because I should never put the post up. What the hell happened to freedom? Is my argument.
There's no such thing.
Shh. I'm not supposed to say that out loud.
I'm gonna say it out loud. I don't care. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as freedom of speech, because you see, like I said, people are getting hemmed up for less by the things that they say rather than the things that they show. You feel me?
And it's funny, this is the double standard I was talking about, because Trump can say whatever the fuck he wants, and it's all gravy. But you and I say some shit on our private Facebook pages, and the wrong person decides to send it to another person, we get hemmed up.
But see, that's why I say, and people do it all the time. No, it's always gonna happen. People, everybody out there, listen to me. Your personal grievances, they don't belong on Facebook, Instagram, wherever else you be getting social media on at. It really doesn't belong there. I'm sorry, because what happens is that people, we leave ourselves open for a lot of stuff, right? When we put stuff on Facebook, when we air our grievances on Facebook, or if we do certain things on Facebook, we leave ourselves open to anything and everything that comes.
Open to interpretation.
Mm-hmm. So whether you get somebody that's on your side or somebody downtrodden you, that's what it is. That's what's going to happen. And you really can't be mad about it because you put it up there to begin with. You understand me? Social media is not the place for us to air our grievances, because a lot of times it does not work out beneficially for us.
I'd like to add something to that and clarify something. What my brother is saying and what I agree with, it's not that it's wrong. You're not doing anything wrong by posting something up there. And you do deserve to have that freedom, but it's not about deserving or not deserving. It's a matter of fact is other people will take advantage of your freedom and turn it on you. And it's just safer not to put it up on Facebook. As I firsthand can tell you, it can quote unquote backfire on you, where you didn't put up anything intentional, but someone twisted it and made it look intentional by sending it to a child's school when it didn't need to go there, had nothing to do with children. But they sent it anyways, and it then went out of control. So it's not that it's wrong to put it up there, or wrong you have something to say it. What makes it wrong for you is that it now leaves you open, as we were just saying, to other people's interpretation and twists.
My brother over here will tell y'all, and I tend to see it as truth as well. Perception is everything.
Rule number one.
So no matter what you may put out there or what you may say, it can be perceived and interpreted in a totally different way.
It's funny that you bring that up. On a previous recording, and I'm gonna put this out there, and you know what? It is what it is. I had to do some minor editing and take out a word I put in because I knew people were going to take it and twist it because it had so many different meanings. They were going to pick the one that caused the most controversy. Not the right one, not the best suited one, but the one that caused the most controversy. Now, I want to put it on the record that the definition of faggot is not homosexual. That's the record. That's not the definition of the word. It means bundle of sticks or a cigarette, depending on what country you're in. But it doesn't mean homosexual. Pathetic heterosexual scumbags took that word and used it to homosexual males because they came off feminine and there's nothing wrong with that, but they saw it that way, that if you're feminine, made you weak. So they took the word and they freaking molested it into believing that it meant homosexual men. It doesn't. It's an ignorant term, twisted because they called homosexual men frail and fragile, like sticks. I used it to describe Donald Trump's weak-ass team of sycophants, and I knew it was going to get twisted on me, and it still might, but I want to make it clear because I tiptoe around that word because everybody's real sensitive about it, and no one makes the argument that that's not the definition of the damn word. A car is a car. Is a car. A boat is a boat. Even if you put wheels on that boat, it's still a damn boat. So you can put lipstick on a pig, and guess what it will still be? A pig.
A lipstick pig.
Yeah. It won't even be a pretty pig. It'd just be a lipstick pig. So I wasn't using it in a derogatory sense of homosexuality, like asexual, heterosexual animals used it in the past. I was using it because they were frail and weak, not because of their sexual preference. But I removed it because I didn't want to be considered like I was bashing some preference, because it had nothing to do with sex or sexual preference or hetero or not hetero. It had something to do with weakness. Now, that's a double standard, I guess, in a sense, because I'm doing to those weak douches that are Trump sycophants, doing the same thing that the heterosexual bigots used it for, because they were calling homosexual men weak. But I'm not calling them weak because of their sex. I'm not calling them weak because of their sexual preference. I'm not calling them weak because of anything about their nationality, races, where they come from. They're weak in my eyes because they're not strong enough to stand up to Donald Trump. He's pissing in their face. They still go, oh, Trump is God. Ah. And that's where the weakness I'm referring to. Because how do you not stand up to a man who says your children are safe, but behind closed doors with a reporter tells them it's killing your kids. It's going to kill the kids and young kids. No way around it. And then goes in public and tells everybody, it's okay. Your children will be just fine.
Well, see, here's the thing. Here's the thing about the majority of the American people. The majority of the American people knew he was lying. They knew the flaming hot Cheeto wasn't on point. That man's slow. He's slower than a boulder rolling uphill. You understand me?
I prefer kicking water uphill.
Yo, I'm serious. He's slower than a boulder rolling uphill. Don't get me wrong. I know that there are lots of Trump supporters out there. I also know that a lot of his supporters ain't supporting him no more. He still may have his key contingents, but the overall that he won with, he doesn't have them anymore because, again, they see through the bullshit. They see, you can say whatever you want to say, homie, but at the end of the day, you and I know what's going on, right? Here, look. Let me say it like this. Suppose me and you got beef.
I got some in the fridge.
Suppose me and you have a problem, whatever. And you know, you running around town and you saying this, that, and the third, and so on and so forth. And oh, he this, and oh, you know, he's about this, and he'll never tell you this, and this, that, and the third, and blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, like I said, you can tell them people whatever you want to tell them, but you and I know what's really going on. You and I know what the situation is really about. You understand what I'm saying? It's the same way with the American people when they look at Trump at the end of the day, they know he full of shit. The people that choose to follow him, if y'all choose to follow him, hey, that's fine. It is what it is. There's always gonna be, there's always, this is why I said it before and I'll say it again. Until this planet, or these here United States rather, come together as one, and people stop looking at things so damn racially and just start looking at things on a whole, we are forever going to be stuck where we are. Forever, where people just constantly get hurt, people are constantly getting shot, all these types of things is going on within the system, everybody losing money, you see this going this way and this going, it's never gonna change. I hate politics. I've said this before, right? I know I need to watch CNN and all of them more often. I know I need to keep abreast of the situation. I hate politics because at the end of the day, they don't care about none of us. It's money and power for them. They put on a good front though. I want to give up Academy Awards.
That's my whole point. Because in Donald Trump's interview, he asked the reporter, you think human life is more important than the economy? Hence why I call him the orange douche canoe. Without the person, you
Without
can't
human
have
life, there is no economy.
Exactly. How could you sit there and when he goes, yeah, human life's more important, he goes, yeah, you really, yeah. Starts stuttering like, I don't really think so, but if you think so, really? Without you being alive, Donald Stump, you wouldn't be able to make that damn statement or that damn money.
I mean, you know, what was he expecting? Was he expecting the animals to take over spending money?
No.
You give the animals money, all they're going to do is eat it, use it for beds.
He wants a docile workforce, okay? He wants a docile workforce that is beneath him intelligently and beneath him financially. I have to. I don't care if I get some shit behind it. He wants a slave country.
Well, look, I'll say this. You say he's looking for people that's stupider than him and people poorer than him, right? Well, look here. We know you got the money, dude, but he is nowhere near smart. My son, my 8-year-old is smarter than him. For real.
No, our children are smarter than him, but you're remembering something. He's destroying what made them that smart in the education system by taking the money away from, if you look at what he's doing to the country, okay? Overall, he's slowly but surely chipping away at all the things that stop us from becoming where he is. He's trying to prevent certain people from making it there so he can keep the docile slave force to do the work. He makes the money and you somehow buy the stuff. Henry Ford, he's the one that decided many moons ago, when he was obviously still alive, that your employees cannot buy your product if they're working, I think they were working non-stop, Saturday and Sundays, like everybody had to work. He gave off weekends and only made it a 5-day work week, 40 hours a week to his employees, and then it trickled off to everybody else. But he knew, and common sense told him, your employees don't have any time off. How are they gonna buy your shit? So Donald Trump expects us to be the workforce to his fortune and his friend's fortune, but we're not gonna be able to buy the shit that made them the money because we don't have any. He's bankrupting New York. He's trying to take away the $7 billion tax money from them, and Seattle, and Portland. So, yeah, you piss him off, he tries to take your livelihood. He reminds me of Ocean's 11. What's his name? What's the douche canoe that was in charge of the casino? Benedict. Remember they were talking about Benedict while he was eating the shrimp?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, bankrupt his brother-in-law's tractor business for something 3 people over in the family, you know, his brother-in-law did. So that's like me doing something to Donald Stump and him going after your kid. Not my kid only, yours. So he hit my kid, he hit me, he hit you, then he hit AJ? Hello? That's Donald Trump right there. You can't upset him. He will fire you, try to make you look like shit, or in the guy's case, send the marshals to whack you.
Huh. You know what? Like I said, this is why I don't like politics. And again, I know I need to watch it more. I know I do. It's not get twisted. I need to know. I definitely need to look at what's going on. And I catch bits and pieces, glimpses here and there, but I'm just so tired of the lies. There's so many lies. There's so many lies. I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing. There's lies, man. These dudes, like I said, man, they talk a good one. I really do want to give out awards for best actor and actress up at the podium in the when y'all giving you know, when you're giving the State of the Union. I want to give out awards and all that because and I'm not. It's all of them. I don't care, D. It's all of them.
No, they all lie. See,
It's all of them.
I ain't stressing their lies because in truth, we all have to lie, especially if we're in power, to stay in power. Like you, we'll say your favorite ice cream is Rocky Road. We both know it's not. My favorite ice cream is Chunky Monkey. Now, I think there's something wrong with you and your Rocky Road. He chooses your Rocky Road, but he tells me he chose it. I'm like, that's not the guy for me. He thinks your Rocky Road is the shit when it's really Chunky Monkey over here, baby. But what they have to do is tell you, hey, yo, I'm down with the Rocky Road, you heard? Then come over to me, do the same thing. They have to do that to get us to go, yay, Chunky Monkey. You're gonna look at me like, you idiot, he likes Rocky Road. And then you and I argue, but we both are gonna vote for him. It causes you and I to fight, which is fine in their eyes because I punch you in the face, you punch me in the face, but we both still vote for him. I don't care about that. I really don't, because that's politics. But when you endanger the welfare directly and then try to justify it and the fucking quacks that justify his stupid actions, it's okay to fucking make people panic about Mexicans coming in to kill our family, but it's not okay to tell us the truth about a pandemic that's wiping out our people every day. That's not politics, man. That's a whole nother line of, I need to get you as weak as humanly possible so when you're at the fucking rock bottom, I can come in and take your wallet. That's where I'm drawing the line because I'm a grown-ass man. I'll die when I die. But my boy is put on that chopping block. My nephew, your boy's put on that chopping block. And
Hey, bro. Hey, bro, listen. Let's. We're gonna go off subject a little bit, right?
Yes,
Do
sir.
you know how many people opted to have their kids do virtual learning for the whole year rather than have them go into school? You know, it's a large. You know, that's a large number, right?
Fuck yeah, I think it's something like 75% of the parents.
Okay, you want
In
to know
Jersey,
why?
anyway.
You want to know one of the reasons why that happened?
Because they ain't stupid.
Exactly, they're not stupid. You understand what I'm saying? They know that this shit can hurt.
Because
Can
they
hurt
read
the
my
kids.
shirt. They read my
You know what
shirt
I'm
and they're like,
saying?
God, that's me too.
How can you look? Whatever they're trying to implement, as far as just going back to school stuff. Here's the one thing that we all know for a fact: these kids is not going to keep their mask on tape. I'm sorry.
We had the interview with Jay Rocca. He said it. He wasn't keeping it on.
One of these dudes is going to be like, you know what I'm saying? They're going to pull it off their face. But again, most of the people opted to have their children do virtual learning from home. And that's because they knew that this thing could affect anyone, not just old people. Anyone. You know what I'm saying? They're just saying that those that are our senior citizens and those that have pre-existing conditions, those who don't have an immune system, are more susceptible than other people. But we knew this beforehand. He just did, like I said, he did that interview. He didn't want to, what he said, he didn't want to incite nothing, spread chaos.
He didn't want to cause panic.
Yeah, right. He didn't want to cause panic.
He'd rather cause death instead.
But here's the problem. It caused panic. It caused panic because the truth is, you knew well about this way before February. We don't even have to talk about the interview. You knew what was going on way before February. You knew what was going on before February came into play. But they was having screenshots of China back in December and November, and everybody over there was wearing masks.
And he was saying he'll never make it here. You know how fast how easy it would take for a virus to hop on an airplane? They ride for free. They park the baggage.
So like this is my point. This is my point. You understand what I'm saying? Like, everybody says, not my president, not my president. Well, people, I'm sorry, but yes, he is our president. This flaming hot Cheeto is our president. And this is what I need y'all to understand, right? Please don't be mad at me for saying this, but it's true. He is, unfortunately, he is our president, whether you voted for him or you didn't. He is our president. And this is what we have to put up with, unfortunately. And unless something gives, guess what? He's going to be in office for another 4 years. Now, on the flip side of the coin.
Just ruin my night, don't you?
What? Here we are.
You could get another 4 years ruining my night.
Here we go. Here we are with where we're in another situation where we have to pick the lesser of two evils. The question is, who's really the lesser in this scenario?
And you know, it's funny. That is a serious question. That I'm not even playing with you. I've spoken to many people. That's an actual serious dilemma for them.
This goes beyond. I'm sorry, y'all. This goes beyond Democrat, Republican. This is just common sense. We now are back at the point, just like we were 4 years ago. We are back at the point where we have to choose the lesser of two evils. The question is, who is actually the lesser of two evils?
Like I said, there's many people that still, there's some people that didn't know what's going on. They didn't know about the damn interview because they started to do the same thing you decided to do a long time ago. And I won't knock you for it because one, you got me. Two, you didn't just cherry pick things you wanted to hear. Like, you didn't just go on Fox and Friends like, you know what? These are my people. Or freaking CBS, these are my people. What you found out over the time is usually word of mouth, and in most parts for me, I show it to you.
Mm-hmm. Do my own little bit of research when I can.
Yeah, but other people, they gave up mid-point, where Donald Trump looked out for them because they're police officers, or Donald Trump looked out because they're military. Donald Trump said that they're suckers and stupid for joining the military to begin with, and dumb enough to die. And some people are like, oh, he said that? When? I was talking to one of my sisters about something, say, hey, sad. And she's like, what are you talking about? I didn't hear none of that. I said, look it up. I looked it up. How can you look up something you didn't know existed? You just told me you didn't hear nothing about that. So then why would you be looking up something you didn't know existed? What she's saying is, I watched Fox and Friends and they didn't say nothing about it. That's what she's telling me, that her selected or selective viewings of Donald Trump and his speeches, or Donald Trump and his podium crap, has either been manipulated by her sensibilities or by the media that is trying to make him look good. And that's who she was watching. That is what she heard. Or she hasn't seen any of it, and it's just someone like you or me walking up there with, hey, did you hear? No? Guess what? It's true. And since she trusts that person, which apparently means she doesn't trust me, she trusts that person. When they told her whatever the fuck they told her, and then get mad at the fact is that her husband cannot go out on unemployment like the rest of the United States because he's an essential worker. Oh, so okay, let me get this straight. Now, I didn't say this because this is going to be real fucked up. So you're telling me, fuck America, okay? I want my husband. That's real humanitarian of you. If I had a service job that was essential, wait, I do father and caretaker. If I was one of the essential workers out there, and I won't put myself in the same shoes as them because they deserve a whole lot more than I ever could, I would be proud to risk my life to save my fellow. I don't have that kind of job. I have two other responsibilities that literally prevent me from doing much. I am my father and son's essential worker. So essentially, that's all I can do. But if I had an essential worker's job, I would feel honored that you got bread in your family's stomach because I'm the one sitting behind that counter with a mask on and a shield in front of me giving you the bread. Now, if I'm in an environment that's unsafe, but they're still keeping it open and essential, then yes, that's a whole nother canary. Then I'm going to be upset and not grateful that I'm guaranteed to die sooner or later. But that's another scenario. So her telling me, oh, he wasn't allowed to go out in employment because he was an essential worker. I wanted to say, well, that's his fault. Just to be a dick. But I said, you know what? That's too far because I love my brother-in-law. And I don't think he's a dick for the work he does. I think he's badass. Others would disagree with me, but I think he's badass. So, and that's not just because when I was a kid I bit him. That's got nothing to do with it. So I'll give you a quick story because I brought it up and it'll make it funny. when I was a youngster, long time ago in the YMCA, I bit my brother-in-law twice. Okay? Because he was one of the staffers at the daycare or the YMCA.
Right.
I ended up biting him twice, on 2 different occasions.
Was
And
you
then
that hungry?
apparently, they threw the football to me, and it was inside the gym, and everybody started attacking me. So in my mind, it's defense mode, but not football defense. It's I'm fucking you up. I'm gonna fuck who you are. So they all backed up. I'm punching kids. I'm elbowing them. I'm kicking them. So he reaches in.
Can I wait before you finish? Can I ask a question?
No.
No. Okay, I'll wait till you do
Again, you know, go fuck.
that. So.
I don't know what he tasted like. Now let's move on.
No, not even that. How old was you when this happened?
Shit. I wasn't even double digits.
Okay.
So he reached in for the ball. So here's the ball. Here's his hand. And I didn't take a chunk out, but I left my mark. And there's been a family joke, I mean, back when they first got together, that he was infected by me with the family curse or the family genes or the pheromone from our family that drew him to my sister. he was infected with the family bug. Because I mean, dude, we're talking about not even double digits, and we'll say, but my niece is 20-something. So we'll say 20-some odd years ago. So we're saying 10 or 15 years after I bit him, he ends up married to my sister.
Hey.
That's what I'm saying. I put in the pheromone in his skin that went up to his brain, infected him, and now all he can think of is my sister.
that is nasty. That is definitely nasty.
It's nasty when you look at it that way, but when people think about it as a vampire does it, it isn't nasty when they do it.
It's a vampire. That's mythical.
See, this is mythical too because I'm making this shit up.
This wasn't mythical. You bit the hell out the dude's.
No. I'm talking about the pheromone shit is mythical.
Mythical.
You don't get pheromones from your mouth.
That's not mythical.
That's mythical because it's made up. That's what mythical means.
You made that man fall in love with your sister. You
apparently, Cupid's arrow through the teeth. Because the first time I bit him, apparently it didn't work, so I had to bite him again. So the similar scenario happened a second time. But I think they were all attacking me. They weren't just trying to, pin me. They were hitting me. So I was biting every hand that came my way. So his arm, because he's the adult, I guess at the time, let's not go into how old he is, but just, you draw your own conclusion. Versus I was 9 and he was working at the YMCA, just staffing me. YMCA. So the second time I bit him he was trying to separate everything and his arm came in front of my mouth. So I was like, crunch.
You was a hungry dude when you was younger, huh?
I was a biter. So that answers the question about how my brother-in-law became one of us. One of us. So, and he gave me 2 nieces. So, and he's still with my sister. Either he's truly infected, or he needs new glasses.
He's not infected. He's not infected. He's in love.
Listen.
Don't you do it. Don't you do it. He's in love. Leave it alone.
I'm not gonna say he's not.
You're not gonna say anything. Leave it alone. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. For this one time, you're gonna do what I asked, please.
It's got nothing to do with him.
Don't.
Or her.
I don't care. I don't want to hear it. Just be nice.
Technically, I'm not
We could
being
do that. Look,
mean. I'm
look,
just
we
being
could do this.
honest.
No, we could do this on our time. No, not right now. No,
It'd be funny because other people would agree with us.
leave it alone.
Fine.
Come on, man.
You're lucky you're a little bit older than me.
Come on, man. We're gonna roll out of here in a minute. I'll let you have free reign next time.
So, in conclusion,
it's
we need 2 more commandments, mister.
oh wait, I'm still doing the YMCA. Okay. Yeah, commandments.
All right. Now, I'm gonna be generous, and I know I sound really condescending at the moment, but I'm being funny. I'm not being condescending. You got 1 week, 1 week to come up with 2 more commandments. I texted you the other 8.
Where?
You got it. I texted him. When you asked me, text them to me. I did.
Who did you text me? I don't see.
And you know what else you could do to find out those other 8 that we made together? You know how you could do this? Go back to your own damn video and look them up. Link in the description for that video.
He's sending me a link.
I ain't sending you a link. I said there's gonna be a link in the description.
You're sending me to a link in the description of our own podcast. You just can't send it to me, you lazy
I did.
summer.
Now listen, you summoner. I sent it to you, but you summoner paying no attention. Let me see how many. You know what? You're lucky my phone's off. See how many messages say delivered but not read.
I don't see it.
Well, maybe you need some glasses. maybe you need some new glasses. Remind me of my cousin Vinny. How many dick dishes have you been through? Oh, 6 or 7. You think you need a new pair? Nah. How many fingers are holding up? I can't see. Only Mrs. Riley.
All right, so before we get out of here, let me say this, right? So last week, the brother had to go in for some surgery on his eye because I had a polyp on my eye, people. A polyp, for lack of a better term, it's like a skin tag on the inside lid of the eye, all up in there. You hear me?
Arr.
So, yeah, I was looking like, Jack Sparrow from the Pirates of the Caribbean for a little while.
You got the hair.
Right, and then after I took the thing off, I didn't have this bloodshot eye ever since. Now, I could see a little bit better. Like I said, today is the first day of clarity, right?
You should see the other guy.
Yeah, you should see the other guy. But it's still tears, brother, if I'm staring at something for too long. And it's clearing up, but I still got this. It looks real bad on this side right here in the corner of the eyeball. It looks real bad. I swear it looks like I've been doing too many drugs, y'all, but I haven't. I've only been doing one.
In the one eye. In the one eye.
Yo, trust me, it looks like I've been doing too many of them, but trust me when I tell you, people, I've only been doing one, just one.
Unfair, because that's not a drug. Sorry.
Yeah, I know, right?
I put herbs in all my food. That's what makes it taste good. Okay? Different herbs and spices make it everything nicest. So herb is not a drug. Or my basil got to go.
Yo, you want to know how to... Yo, I want to punch Devon in his face when I see him. And yeah, if you watch this, Devon, I'm talking to you, I'm going to punch you in your eye when I see you.
And show you where I come from.
Because the last time we got on the phone, right, we was on Facebook Messenger, say word that your brother answered the phone like this. Yo, peace, Carl, what's up? How you doing? Really? What's wrong with your eye? Nothing, but I figured that you would be more comfortable if I held my hand over my right eye. I was like, you know what? You see, yo, YouTube people, this is the family members that I have to deal with. This is how they do me. You understand?
You need to change the name of his phone, in your phone for him, as Captain Corduroy. That's his new name. Let me talk to Captain Corduroy. Him and I are gonna have a talk, and I'm gonna tell him your new name is Captain Corduroy. Because he worried about that corduroy disease. Fuck wrong with him?
He said that corduroy, that corduroy disease. Can't live. I love him, but I can't live. Yo, come on, bro. Let's check up out of here, man.
He had too many brain damage.
Yo,
So-
the good brother is going through it. He be all right.
Oh, of course, he's not called divine just because it rhymes. So on that note, peoples, this is your host, BxBadBoy, requesting that you subscribe and like our video. We could use the help. And on that note, be safe and peace.
Peace to the